My chosen one, pause for a moment, because what I am about to reveal will shake everything you thought you understood about your loss. On August 18th, a message was released from the heavenly realm, and it carries your name within it. You believed that the job you lost was taken from you because you were not enough, because something went wrong, because you failed. But hear this clearly. What left your life did not leave as punishment. It was removed as protection. There was something unfolding behind the scenes that your eyes could not see. While you were showing up, giving your effort, trying to hold everything together, there were currents moving beneath the surface, currents that did not carry peace, alignment, or truth. And in that very moment, when you thought everything was stable, Archangel Michael stepped forward with his sword of divine intervention. Not to harm you, but to shield you. You may be asking yourself right now, why did it have to happen like this? Why so suddenly? Why without warning? That is the mystery that only heaven can answer, and today, that answer is being revealed. Because if that door had not closed when it did, something far greater would have been at risk: your peace, your purpose, even your spiritual path. Listen closely, this was not a random event. This was not bad luck. This was not rejection. This was a rescue mission. There were conversations you were never meant to hear. Decisions being made that did not honor your growth. Energies around you that were slowly draining your spirit, even if you could not fully name it. And while you were trying to survive in that space, heaven was already preparing your exit. Not later. Not eventually. Immediately. That is why it felt so abrupt. That is why it did not make sense. Because divine protection does not always come with explanation, it comes with action. And now, here you are standing in the aftermath, holding questions, carrying uncertainty, wondering what comes next. But what if I told you that at the exact moment that door closed, another one was already being prepared for you? Not just any door, but one that aligns with who you are becoming. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one who felt the sting of sudden loss, the one who cried in silence, questioning their worth, the one who is searching for meaning in the middle of confusion. If that is you, then understand this: nothing about your journey is accidental. Archangel Michael is speaking directly into your situation right now, saying, "Do not mistake my protection for abandonment. I remove you because I saw what you could not." Something powerful is unfolding, even now. And what feels like an ending is only the beginning of a path that was always meant for you. The truth is about to go deeper than you expected. There is something you must understand now, something that may completely change how you see what happened to you. What you experienced was not just a physical event, it was a spiritual interruption. While you were focused on your daily responsibilities, showing up, doing your best, trying to make things work, there was an invisible battle taking place around you. It was quiet, hidden, and subtle, but it was real. In that environment, not everything was as it appeared. There were forces at work that did not align with your purpose. The tension you felt, the sudden shifts in people's behavior, the moments where something just didn't feel right, those were not coincidences. Those were signals. Your spirit was picking up on something your mind could not fully process yet. You may remember certain days when the energy felt heavy for no clear reason. Conversations that left you feeling drained. Situations where you questioned yourself, even though deep down you knew you had done nothing wrong. That confusion was not weakness. It was the effect of being in a place that no longer matched your calling. Archangel Michael was present in those moments, even when you did not realize it. Watching, guarding, standing between you and what could have caused deeper harm. His role was not to make everything comfortable, but to ensure your protection. And sometimes, protection requires removal. There were influences around you that were slowly pulling you out of alignment. Not always obvious, not always dramatic, but steady enough to affect your peace. You were being shaped by an environment that was not designed for your growth. And if it had continued, it could have led you further away from the path that heaven has prepared for you. That is why the shift had to happen. Think back carefully. Before everything changed, there were signs. Small ones but clear. A sense of unease you could not explain. Moments where you felt like you did not belong anymore. A quiet voice within you asking, "Is this really where I'm meant to be?" Those whispers were not random thoughts. They were warnings. But because you are strong, because you are committed, you stayed. You tried to adapt. You tried to fix what was not yours to fix. And that is when divine intervention became necessary. Archangel Michael does not wait until damage is done. He steps in before the breaking point. And when he moves, it is often swift, unexpected, and undeniable. The job you lost was not taken from you gently because the situation itself was not gentle. It required immediate action. This is why it felt like everything changed overnight. One moment you were holding on, and the next, it was gone. No time to prepare, no clear explanation, no closure that made sense. But what you saw as chaos was actually precision. What you felt as loss was actually protection in motion. There were outcomes that were being prevented, paths that were being blocked for your own good. You may not know every detail, and perhaps you never will, but understand this. What was removed from your life was not meant to stay. And now, even though it feels uncertain, even though questions remain, you are no longer in that environment. You are no longer exposed to what was quietly working against you. You have been pulled out of something that could have taken more from you than you realize. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment you were redirected, even if it does not fully make sense yet. Because what lies ahead was always greater than what you left behind. There is a reason it happened so fast, a reason it did not give you time to prepare, to adjust, or even to fully understand what was unfolding. And that reason is this: delay would have cost you more than you realize. What feels like a sudden ending was actually a precise and urgent intervention from heaven. You must begin to see this from a higher perspective. If that door had stayed open even a little longer, the consequences could have reached deeper into your life. It was not just about the job itself. It was about what that environment was slowly doing to your spirit, your confidence, and your future. The longer you remained, the more you would have absorbed what was never meant to shape you. There were patterns forming around you that were not aligned with your destiny. Subtle compromises, quiet discouragement, moments where your light felt dimmed. You may not have noticed how much it was affecting you, but heaven did. Archangel Michael saw the trajectory clearly, even when you could not. And because of that, the decision was made, not to wait, not to give warnings that could be ignored, but to act immediately. This is the part that is difficult to accept. Because when something is taken suddenly, the human heart searches for reasons within itself. You begin to question your worth, your abilities, your choices. You replay moments in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. But what if the truth is that nothing you could have done would have changed the outcome? What if the removal was never about your failure, but about your protection? Think about this carefully. When a storm is approaching, a warning may not always come in gentle whispers. Sometimes, there is a forceful push to move you out of danger. You may not see the storm yet, but that does not mean it is not coming. And when Archangel Michael steps in, he does not negotiate with destruction. He removes you from its path, That is exactly what happened. There were things developing in that space that were not meant for you to endure. Situations that could have escalated. Pressures that could have broken your spirit. And rather than allowing you to face that, heaven chose to intervene. Not later, not gradually, but in a moment that felt abrupt and final. You were not pushed out, you were pulled away. And even now, as you reflect on what happened, there may still be confusion. You may still be asking, why couldn't it end differently? Why couldn't I leave on my own terms? But understand this. When divine timing takes over, it does not always match human expectations. It operates on a level that sees beyond what is visible. There is also something else you must recognize. The speed of your removal is directly connected to the value of your future. The greater what lies ahead, the more urgent the protection becomes. You were not removed because you were insignificant. You were removed because you are too important to remain where you were. Let that truth settle within you. You are not someone who was discarded. You are someone who was preserved. And now, even though it feels like something has been taken from you, what is actually happening is that space is being created. Space for something that aligns with your purpose. Space for growth that was not possible where you were. Space for a new beginning that is already being prepared, even if you cannot see it yet. This moment, as painful and confusing as it may feel, is not empty. It is filled with unseen movement. Heaven is not silent. It is working. And Archangel Michael is still standing beside you, ensuring that what comes next will not carry the same weight, the same struggle, or the same misalignment. You are in transition, not in defeat. Type I receive divine protection in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 4417 has just been released over your life. As this truth settles into your heart, hear this clearly. When you sow into what God is doing, you become part of the miracle itself. This message is reaching souls who feel lost, who feel rejected, who are searching for meaning just like you were. And right now, you have the opportunity to help that light reach even further. The word says, give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not just a verse. It is a living promise being activated through you. If you feel that stirring within you, if something is telling you to act, then do not ignore it. Sow your seed through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code placed before you. As you give, you are opening doors not only for others, but for your own life. Step into this moment with faith and obedience. What you are about to understand now may stir something deep within you, because the truth is this. There were dangers surrounding you that you never fully saw. Not because you were unaware or careless, but because those dangers were hidden beneath normal appearances. They were disguised as routine, as opportunity, even as stability. But beneath that surface, something was not right. The environment you were in carried a weight that was not meant for you. It may have looked like a place of growth, but it was slowly becoming a place of depletion. Every day you stayed, something within you was being drained. Your energy, your clarity, your sense of direction. And the most dangerous part is that it happens quietly, so quietly that you begin to accept it as normal. There were people around you whose intentions were not aligned with your well-being. Not everyone, but enough to shift the atmosphere. Words spoken behind your back, decisions made without your knowledge, subtle actions that created imbalance. You may have sensed it at times, a feeling you could not quite explain, a moment of discomfort that passed quickly but left a mark. Those were not random feelings. Those were glimpses of what was truly happening. And then there were situations forming that had the potential to trap you. Opportunities that seemed promising on the surface but carried consequences beneath them. Paths that looked like progress but would have led you further away from your purpose. These were the kinds of traps that do not reveal themselves immediately. They unfold slowly, drawing you in before you realize what you have stepped into. This is why Archangel Michael had to intervene. His presence is not only about protection from visible harm, but also from hidden dangers. He sees beyond what the human eye can detect. He understands the outcomes of paths before they are fully formed. And when he recognized what was surrounding you, he did not hesitate. His sword is not just a symbol. It represents the act of cutting away what does not belong in your life. And in your case, that cutting had to be decisive. It had to be complete. Because leaving even a small connection to that environment could have kept you tied to something that was never meant for your future. You may not have realized how deeply you were entangled, how certain patterns were beginning to form around you, how your light was slowly being dimmed by constant pressure, unspoken tension, and emotional exhaustion. But heaven saw it clearly. That is why the separation felt so final. It was not meant to be partial. It was not meant to leave room for return. It was a full release from something that had already begun to take more than it was giving. And although it felt like loss, it was actually a restoration in disguise. There is also something else you must acknowledge. Sometimes, the greatest danger is not immediate destruction, but gradual misalignment. It is being in a place that slowly changes who you are, step by step, until you no longer recognize your own path. That is the kind of danger you were being protected from. If you had remained, you might have adapted to that environment in ways that would have pulled you away from your true calling. You might have settled into something that was never meant to define your life. And over time, it would have become harder to leave. But that is not your story. You were not allowed to stay long enough for that to happen. You were removed before the damage became permanent. You were taken out before the misalignment could shape your future. And now, even though you are standing in uncertainty, you are no longer surrounded by those hidden dangers. You are no longer in a place that drains you or limits you. You have been set apart, even if it does not feel like it yet. This is where clarity begins. Because when you are no longer inside the environment, you can begin to see it for what it truly was. The patterns, the energy, the subtle signs, they start to make sense. And with that understanding comes a powerful realization. You were never meant to stay there. You were meant to move forward into something that does not carry the same weight, the same tension, or the same hidden risks. And that is exactly what is being prepared for you now. Now you find yourself in a place that feels unfamiliar, a silence that you did not ask for, the stillness that feels uncomfortable. After everything that happened, after the sudden shift, there is now this space where nothing seems to be moving the way it used to. And this, for many, is the most difficult part of the journey, the moment after the storm, when everything goes quiet. You may wake up some days wondering what you are supposed to do next. The routine you once had is gone. The structure you relied on has disappeared, and in its place is a kind of emptiness that feels confusing. You might even question if something has gone wrong, if this pause means you are being left behind. But listen carefully. This silence is not abandonment. This stillness has a purpose. When something is removed so suddenly, it creates a space that must be filled, but not immediately. There is a process that takes place in this quiet season, one that cannot happen while you are still surrounded by noise, pressure, and constant demand. This is the space where restoration begins, even if it does not feel like it yet. Think about everything you have just come out of. The weight, the tension, the hidden pressures, the emotional strain. Even if you did not fully recognize it at the time, it was affecting you. And when you are constantly in that kind of environment, you do not get the chance to fully process what it is doing to you. This is why the silence is necessary. It allows your mind to slow down. It gives your spirit room to breathe again. It creates distance between you and what was draining you, so you can begin to see clearly again. Without this pause, you might have rushed into something new too quickly, carrying the same exhaustion, the same confusion, and the same patterns with you. Archangel Michael is not only the one who removes you from danger, he is also the one who stands with you in this quiet place, guarding your peace, ensuring that nothing interrupts this process of restoration. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, something very important is taking place within you. You are being recalibrated. Your thoughts are beginning to settle. Your perspective is slowly shifting. You may start to notice things you did not see before, realizations about your past environment, about your own strength, about what you truly need moving forward. These insights do not come in the middle of chaos. They come in moments like this. And yet, it is natural to feel uncomfortable here, because you are used to movement. You are used to doing, achieving, pushing forward. This stillness can feel like a delay, like time is being wasted. But what if this is actually preparation? What if this is the moment where everything is being aligned before the next door opens? There is a tendency to want immediate answers, to want to know exactly what comes next, when it will happen, how it will unfold. But this part of the journey is not about knowing. It is about trusting. Trusting that even in the silence, you are not being forgotten. In fact, this is often where the most important work happens. Not around you, but within you. Your confidence is being rebuilt, not based on external validation, but from a deeper place. Your sense of direction is being refined. Your spirit is being strengthened in ways that cannot be seen yet. And all of this is preparing you for what is ahead. Because what is coming next requires a version of you that is not weighed down by what you just left behind. This is why the pause exists. It is not here to frustrate you. It is here to position you. So instead of resisting this silence, begin to lean into it. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. Allow yourself to process without rushing. Allow yourself to be in this moment without feeling like you need to escape it. Because this stillness is not empty. It is full of quiet transformation. And soon, when the time is right, movement will return. But it will not be the same as before. It will carry clarity, alignment, and purpose in a way that you have not experienced yet. For now, remain here knowing that even in the silence, you are being guided. There comes a moment in this journey where the silence begins to speak not loudly, not forcefully, but in a way that reaches deeper than anything external ever could. And this is where the true test begins. Not a test of your abilities, not a test of your performance, but a test of your faith. Because now, you are standing between what was and what will be. The past is behind you. The future is not yet visible, and in this space, your mind may begin to fill with questions. Doubt can slowly try to find its way in, whispering things that sound convincing. What if nothing better comes? What if this was a mistake? What if I lost something I was supposed to keep? These thoughts are not unusual. In fact, this is the exact moment where they tend to appear. When there is no immediate evidence of what is next, the human mind tries to create its own answers. But this is where you must be careful, because not every thought you hear is truth. This is the battle between fear and faith. Fear will try to pull you back into what is familiar, even if it was not good for you. It will try to convince you that uncertainty is danger, that the unknown is something to avoid. It will remind you of what you lost, but it will not show you what you were saved from. It will focus your attention on the absence, rather than the protection. Faith, on the other hand, asks you to trust what you cannot yet see. It asks you to believe that there is a purpose behind what happened, even if the full picture has not been revealed. It does not demand immediate answers. It invites you to remain steady, knowing that something greater is being prepared. And this is where Archangel Michael continues his work in your life. His presence in this phase is quieter, but no less powerful. He is not now removing you from something. He is strengthening you for what is ahead. He stands as a guardian over your thoughts, over your spirit, helping you resist the pull of fear and remain anchored in truth. You may not see him, but you may feel it in subtle ways. A moment of calm when anxiety should have taken over. A sense of peace that appears without explanation. A quiet confidence that rises within you, even when circumstances are unclear. These are not coincidences. These are signs that you are being supported, even now. This phase is shaping something important within you. It is teaching you how to stand without needing constant reassurance. It is building a deeper level of trust, one that is not dependent on visible outcomes. Because what is coming next will require you to move forward with certainty, even before everything is fully revealed. That is why this test exists. It is not here to break you. It is here to prepare you. You are learning to choose faith, not because everything is clear, but because you understand that what happened was not random. You are learning to quiet the noise of doubt and listen to something deeper. You are learning to remain steady, even when the path ahead is not yet visible. And this is not easy. There may be days when the weight of uncertainty feels heavy. Days when you question everything again. Days when you feel tempted to go back, to return to what was familiar, even if it was not right. But in those moments, you must remember what has already been revealed to you. You were removed for a reason. You were protected for a purpose. And nothing about that has changed. What you are experiencing now is not a sign that something has gone wrong. It is a sign that you are in the middle of transformation. The old has been cleared away, and the new is not yet fully visible, but it is coming. And when it does, you will not step into it as the same person who left that previous place. You will step into it stronger, clearer, and more aligned than before. So hold your ground in this moment. Do not let fear rewrite the truth of what has already been done in your life. Do not let doubt make you forget the protection that was placed over you. Stay here, anchored in faith, knowing that even now, you are being guided step by step. Because what is ahead is not just better, it is aligned with who you are truly meant to be. There is something unfolding now that you cannot fully see yet, but you are beginning to feel it. It is subtle at first, a shift in your thoughts, a quiet sense that something is changing, even if nothing around you looks different. This is the moment where heaven begins to reveal what has already been prepared for you. You must understand this clearly. What you lost has already been replaced in the spiritual realm before it ever disappeared in the physical. Nothing was taken from you without provision being made. Nothing was removed without something greater being set in motion. This is the part that many people miss, because they focus so deeply on what has ended that they cannot yet perceive what has begun. But something has begun. While you were processing the loss, while you were sitting in the silence, while you were navigating the uncertainty, there were doors being aligned, connections being arranged, opportunities being positioned in a way that you could not have orchestrated on your own. This is not something you can force or rush. It is something that unfolds at the exact moment it is meant to. Archangel Michael is not only the protector who removed you from where you were, he is also the one who stands guard over what is being prepared for you, ensuring that what comes next is not only better, but aligned with your purpose in a way that the previous situation never could be. You may begin to notice small signs, not dramatic, not overwhelming, but enough to catch your attention. A new idea that comes into your mind, a conversation that feels different, an unexpected opportunity that appears without warning. These are not coincidences. These are the early indicators that something new is approaching. And yet it may still feel uncertain, because what is coming does not always resemble what you left behind. In fact, it often looks completely different. This is where you must remain open, because if you try to recreate the past, you may miss what is truly meant for you. What heaven has prepared is not a copy of what you lost. It is an upgrade. It carries a different energy, a different alignment, a different sense of purpose. It may challenge you in new ways, but it will not drain you in the same way. It will not carry the same hidden weight or the same quiet misalignment that you experienced before. This is why patience is still required. Even though something has already been prepared, it must unfold in the right way, at the right time. You are not being delayed, you are being positioned. Positioned so that when the opportunity appears, you are ready to recognize it, ready to step into it without hesitation. There is also a deeper truth here. What is coming is not just about a job or a role, it is about alignment with who you are becoming. The version of you that is emerging from this process is not the same as the one who entered that previous environment. You have seen more. You have felt more. You have grown in ways that are not always visible but are very real. And because of that, what is being prepared must match that growth. This is why it could not come earlier. If it had come while you were still in that previous place, you may not have recognized it. You may not have been ready to receive it. But now, as you stand in this space of transformation, your awareness is different. Your understanding is deeper. Your sense of direction is beginning to sharpen. And when the moment comes, you will feel it. There will be a clarity that was not there before. A sense of knowing that does not require overthinking. A peace that confirms you are moving in the right direction. This is how you will recognize what has been prepared for you. Not through pressure, not through confusion, but through alignment. So do not lose heart in this waiting. Do not allow the absence of immediate results to make you question what has already been set in motion. What you are stepping into is not random. It is intentional. It is designed with your purpose in mind. And very soon, what has been prepared in silence will begin to appear in your reality. When it does, you will understand why everything had to happen exactly the way it did. Something is shifting now, and you can feel it if you are paying attention. It is no longer just silence, no longer just waiting. There is movement beginning to form, subtle at first, but undeniable once you notice it. This is the moment where everything that has been prepared starts to move toward you. The energy around you is changing. Where there was once heaviness, there is now a sense of lightness beginning to rise. Where there was confusion, there is now a quiet clarity forming. It may not be complete yet, but it is enough to let you know that something is different. This is not your imagination. This is alignment taking place. After August 18th, the release has already begun. What was delayed is being activated. What was held back is now being allowed to flow. And what was hidden is slowly being revealed. You are stepping into a season where things will begin to move faster than they have in a long time. Opportunities may come in ways you did not expect. Doors may open that you did not even know existed. This is how divine timing works. It may feel slow for a while, and then suddenly, everything begins to shift at once. Conversations start happening. Ideas begin to connect. Paths that once seemed blocked suddenly become clear. And when this happens, it can feel almost overwhelming, because it is such a contrast from the stillness you were just in. But this is not chaos. This is alignment in motion. Archangel Michael is guiding this transition carefully, ensuring that what comes into your life now is not random, not misaligned, but exactly what is meant for you. You may begin to notice that the things presenting themselves to you feel different from what you experienced before. There is less resistance, less confusion, more clarity, even if everything is not fully explained. This is how you will know that you are moving in the right direction. There will be a sense of flow. Things will not feel forced. They will not drain you in the same way. Instead, there will be a quiet confidence that builds as you take each step forward. You will begin to trust yourself again. You will begin to feel capable again. And most importantly, you will begin to see that what you lost was never meant to define your future. This is where your role becomes important. Because now that things are beginning to move, you must be willing to respond. You must be open to what is appearing in front of you. Not everything will look exactly the way you expect, but that does not mean it is not meant for you. Sometimes, the greatest opportunities come in forms that are unfamiliar. Do not let hesitation hold you back. You have already been prepared through everything you have gone through. The silence, the doubt, the waiting, it was all shaping you for this moment. And now that the shift has begun, you are being invited to step into it. Trust what you feel. Trust the sense of peace that comes with certain decisions. Trust the clarity that begins to form when something is aligned. And if something feels off, trust that as well. Because your awareness is sharper now than it was before. This is not the same version of you that walked into that previous situation. You are more aware, more grounded, more connected to what truly matters. And because of that, you are now ready to move differently. The shift you are experiencing is not temporary. It is the beginning of a new direction. A direction that has been prepared with intention. A path that carries purpose, not confusion. And as you continue forward, you will begin to see just how perfectly everything is unfolding. Type "I step into my NEW season" in the comments if you feel this shift happening in your life. Blessing code 8821 is now activated over your journey. And as this shift begins to manifest, remember this: what you are stepping into is not just for you alone. It is part of a greater movement, a greater purpose that reaches beyond your own life. When you sow into this mission, you are helping carry this message to others who are still in their moment of confusion, still searching for clarity. The word declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and right now, that promise is alive for you. If you feel that pull in your spirit, do not hesitate. Step into obedience and release your seed through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code placed before you. As you give, you align yourself with the flow that is already moving in your life. Act now, and watch how doors continue to open in ways you did not expect. Now that the shift has begun, there is something very important you must learn: how to recognize what is truly meant for you. Because not every opportunity that appears is aligned, and not every open door leads to your purpose. This is where discernment becomes your greatest strength. In the past, you may have accepted opportunities based on urgency, pressure, or expectation. You may have felt the need to say yes quickly, to secure something before it disappeared. But this time is different. You are not being led by fear anymore. You are being guided by alignment. So how do you recognize what is sent from heaven? It will not come with confusion. It is the first sign. When something is truly aligned with your path, there will be a sense of clarity surrounding it. Even if you do not have every detail, there will be an inner knowing that feels steady. It will not force you into overthinking or anxiety. Instead, it will bring a quiet assurance that you are moving in the right direction. You may still feel a sense of challenge, but it will not feel heavy in the same way. It will feel like growth, not pressure. There is a difference, and you will begin to notice it. The second sign is peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from everything being perfect, but the kind that exists even when things are still unfolding. You will feel it within you, a calm that does not match your external situation, but confirms that you are where you are supposed to be. This is one of the ways Archangel Michael communicates with you now. Not through loud declarations, but through a steady sense of peace that guards your decisions. And then there is timing. What is meant for you will not require you to force it into place. It will arrive in a way that aligns with your current position. Conversations will happen naturally. Opportunities will connect without excessive struggle. You will not feel like you are constantly pushing against resistance just to make something work. This does not mean everything will be easy, but it does mean that it will be aligned. You must also be aware of what is not meant for you. Because as new doors open, there may also be distractions. Opportunities that look similar to what you had before. Situations that feel familiar, but carry the same energy that you were just removed from. This is where your growth is tested. Will you return to what is familiar, or will you move forward into what is aligned? Archangel Michael is still guiding you in this process, but now you must participate actively. You must listen closely to what you feel, not just what you see. Because what appears good on the surface is not always right beneath it. If something feels forced, if it creates confusion, if it drains your energy before it even begins, pay attention to that. These are signs that it may not be aligned with your path. But when something feels right, even if it is unfamiliar, even if it stretches you, even if it challenges you to grow, do not ignore it. It may be exactly what has been prepared for you. This is a new level of awareness. You are no longer choosing from a place of fear or lack. You are choosing from a place of clarity and purpose. And because of that, your decisions will begin to reflect who you are becoming, not who you used to be. There is also something else you must remember. You do not have to rush. What is meant for you will not disappear because you took time to understand it. It will remain. It will align. It will confirm itself in ways that remove doubt. This is the difference between something temporary and something truly meant for your path. So take your time. Observe. Listen. Feel. Allow each opportunity to reveal itself fully before you step into it. Because once you recognize what is truly aligned, everything begins to make sense. The confusion of the past fades away. The pain of what you lost begins to transform into understanding. And you will see clearly that what is now in front of you carries a different energy, a better one. This is how you move forward without repeating the past. This is how you step into what heaven has prepared for you. And as you continue to walk this path, your confidence will grow. Your clarity will deepen. And your trust in what is guiding you will become stronger than ever before. You are no longer searching blindly. You are now recognizing with purpose. You are no longer the same person who walked into that previous chapter of your life. Something within you has shifted. Something deeper than surface level change. And now, as you stand at the edge of what is next, you are being invited to step into a new identity, one that aligns with your true assignment. This is not just about finding another job. It is about stepping into a role that reflects who you are becoming. In the past, you may have defined yourself by what you did, by the position you held, by the expectations placed upon you. But now, those definitions have been stripped away, not to leave you empty, but to allow something more authentic to take its place. You are being reintroduced to yourself. This is where many people hesitate, because stepping into a new version of yourself requires letting go of the old one completely. It requires releasing the comfort of what you knew, even if it was not right for you. It requires trusting that who you are becoming is greater than who you were, and that takes courage. You may feel moments of uncertainty as you begin to move forward, moments where you question if you are ready, if you are capable, if you can truly step into something new. But understand this: your readiness is not based on how confident you feel in this moment. It is based on everything you have already gone through, every challenge you faced, every moment of doubt you overcame, every step you took even when you did not fully understand the path. These have all prepared you for this. You are more ready than you realize. Archangel Michael is still guiding you, but now the guidance is leading you forward, not just protecting you from behind. He is strengthening your steps, helping you move with confidence, even when the path is still unfolding. This is where action becomes important. You cannot remain in the waiting phase forever. There comes a time when you must begin to move, even if the steps feel small, even if you do not have every detail, because movement creates clarity. When you take a step forward, new information reveals itself. New connections form. New opportunities appear that were not visible before. This is how the path unfolds, not all at once, but step by step. And with each step, your confidence will grow. You will begin to see that you are capable of more than you thought, that you can navigate new environments, new challenges, new opportunities without losing yourself, that you can move forward without carrying the weight of the past. This is what stepping into your true assignment looks like. It is not about perfection. It is not about having everything figured out. It is about alignment. It is about moving in a direction that feels right, even if it is unfamiliar. There is also something important you must release here: the need to hold on to what was. You may still have moments where you look back, where you wonder if things could have been different, where you feel a sense of attachment to what you lost. But holding on to the past will only slow down your movement into the future. What was behind you no longer has a place in where you are going. Let it go fully. Not with resentment, not with regret, but with understanding. Understanding that it served its purpose, that it played its role, and that now it is complete. This is how you create space for what is next. And as you step forward, you will begin to feel a new kind of energy within you. A sense of purpose that is not forced, but natural. A confidence that is not loud, but steady. A direction that is not confusing, but clear. This is who you are becoming, and this is the path that is now opening before you. Do not shrink back. Do not second-guess what is already being confirmed within you. Step forward with faith, with clarity, with the understanding that you are not walking this path alone, because everything you have gone through has led you to this moment, and everything ahead of you is waiting for you to take that step. There is something powerful that happens when you choose to trust the process, even when it does not make sense at the beginning. A shift begins to take place, not just around you, but within you. And from that shift, a reward starts to form. Not always immediately, not always in the way you expected, but always in a way that reveals the truth of what you went through. This is where the reward of your obedience begins to appear. You made a choice, even if it did not feel like one at the time. You chose not to fight the removal. You chose not to force your way back into what was taken from you. You allowed yourself to move through the uncertainty, through the silence, through the doubt, and that willingness to let go, to trust, to keep moving forward. It matters more than you realize. Because now, what is coming into your life is not just opportunity, it is restoration. Restoration of your confidence. Restoration of your peace. Restoration of what felt lost when everything changed so suddenly. But this restoration is not simply a return to where you were. It is an elevation. It is an increase that carries more clarity, more stability, and more alignment than before. What you are stepping into now will not have the same hidden weight, the same confusion, or the same draining energy that you once endured. Instead, it will reflect the growth that has taken place within you. You may begin to notice that things are coming together in ways that feel unexpected, opportunities that seem to match your strengths more clearly, people who understand your value without you having to prove it constantly, situations that feel supportive rather than exhausting. These are signs that you are moving into a space that honors who you are. And this is not by accident. This is the result of what you walked through. Every moment of uncertainty, every question, every step you took when you did not have full clarity, it all contributed to this. It refined you. It strengthened you. It prepared you to receive something better without compromising who you are. There is also a sense of favor that begins to appear in this stage. Things that once required struggle may begin to flow more easily. Doors that once felt closed may open without resistance. You may find yourself in the right place at the right time, having the right conversations, encountering the right opportunities. This is not coincidence. This is alignment working in your favor. Archangel Michael has not only protected you, he has positioned you. Positioned you in a way that what is meant for you can find you more easily. Positioned you so that you are no longer fighting against environments that do not support your growth. Positioned you so that you can move forward with clarity instead of confusion. And as this begins to unfold, something else will become clear to you. You will start to understand why everything had to happen the way it did. The suddenness, the confusion, the silence. It will all begin to make sense. Not because someone explains it to you, but because you can see the difference between where you were and where you are now. You can feel the shift. You can recognize the alignment. This is the moment where the pain begins to transform into gratitude. Not because it was easy, not because you would have chosen it, but because you can now see the purpose within it. You can see that what felt like loss was actually protection. That what felt like an ending was actually a redirection. And with that realization comes a deeper sense of peace. A peace that is not dependent on circumstances but on understanding. Understanding that you are being guided, that you are being protected, that you are being led into something that reflects your true path. So as you stand in this moment, beginning to see the results of everything you have walked through, allow yourself to receive it fully. Do not hold back. Do not question if you deserve it. You do. Because you trusted when it was difficult. You remained when it was uncertain. You moved forward when it was unclear. And now, the reward of that obedience is unfolding before you. This is not the end of your journey, but it is the moment where you begin to see just how far you have come, and just how perfectly everything is aligning in your favor. Beloved soul, take a deep breath because now you are standing at a place of understanding that once felt impossible to reach. What once felt like confusion has now begun to transform into clarity. What once felt like loss has now revealed itself as protection. And what once felt like an ending is now clearly the beginning of something far greater than you imagined. On August 18th, when that message was released over your life, it was not just a warning, it was a promise. A promise that you were being watched over. A promise that nothing leaving your life would take away what was truly meant for you. A promise that even when you did not understand, you were never alone. Look at where you are now. You are no longer in that place that drained you. You are no longer surrounded by the confusion that once clouded your mind. You are no longer carrying the same weight that once made every step feel heavy. Instead, you are standing in a space where clarity is growing, where direction is forming, where peace is returning. And this is only the beginning. Because what heaven has prepared for you is not something temporary. It is not something fragile that can be easily taken away. It is something that hath been designed with your purpose in mind, something that aligns with your spirit, something that supports your growth instead of limiting it. Archangel Michael has been with you through every step of this journey. From the moment of removal, to the silence, to the testing, to the shift, and now into this new season. His presence has not left you, and it will not leave you. He stands as a constant reminder that you are protected, guided, and never forgotten. There may still be moments ahead where you question things again. Moments where the path is not fully visible. But now you carry something you did not have before. You carry understanding. You carry the truth that what happens in your life is not random. That even the painful moments carry purpose. That even the sudden changes are guided by something greater than what you can see. Hold on to that truth. Let it anchor you when uncertainty tries to return. Let it remind you that what you went through was not meant to break you but to position you. Let it give you peace, knowing that you are not walking blindly, you are being led. And now, as you continue forward, allow yourself to rest in that peace. You do not have to fight for what is meant for you. You do not have to chase what has already been prepared. You only need to remain open, to trust, and to move when you are guided. Everything else is already being handled. This is your confirmation. You were not rejected. You were redirected. You were not punished. You were protected. And everything ahead of you carries the evidence of that truth. Type "I trust divine redirection" in the comments if you receive this message with faith. Blessing code 9903 is now sealing this season of your life with peace and favor. And as this message settles into your spirit, hear this final call with clarity and purpose. This light you have received is not meant to stop with you. There are countless souls still sitting in confusion, still believing their loss was punishment, still searching for the truth that just reached your heart. The word speaks directly into this moment. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. This is your moment to act. I feel led to sow into this mission, to become a vessel through which this message reaches those who are still waiting. When you release your seed through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code placed before you, you are not just giving. You are activating a harvest of healing in someone else's life. Do not delay this prompting. Step into obedience now. As you give, may doors open over you, may favor surround you, and may the same protection that covered you overflow into every area of your life.